Welcome back to the deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
This time we're taking a deep dive into starting and scaling a new business.
Okay.
And this deep dive is especially for you,
Right.
as you're just starting out on this exciting journey.
All right.
You've sent over a really interesting mix of materials.
Yeah.
Classic marketing strategies, inspiring success stories,
Right.
even some insights into the power of the mind.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
It's going to be fascinating to unpack it all.
It is. It's amazing how much goes into building a successful business.
Right.
It's not just about the product or service. It's about mindset systems
Right.
and strategies. And what's really fascinating is how interconnected all these elements are.
Okay.
From time management to team building to marketing.
Right. So where should someone who's completely new to this even begin? What stood out to you from all these sources?
One of the most crucial things,
Yeah.
and this comes up again and again in your materials, is mastering yourself first.
Oh, interesting.
It's about building what Chet Holmes, the author of one of your books, calls the ultimate sales machine mindset.
Okay.
He uses a powerful analogy from his karate training.
I'm listening.
Learning to block a ball coming from any direction.
Wow.
After 6 months of intense practice, his body was reacting like a well-oiled machine.
So it's not about some innate talent
Right.
or a lucky break.
Exactly. It's about what Holmes refers to as
Yeah.
pig-headed discipline and determination.
Pig-headed discipline and determination.
Yes.
Okay.
You break down a concept into manageable steps and practice relentlessly
Yeah.
until it becomes second nature.
Okay.
That's how you achieve mastery in any area,
Right.
whether it's sales, marketing, or even time management.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So for our listener who's starting a business,
Yeah?
what would that pig-headed discipline look like in practice?
Well, it could be committing to one new marketing strategy every week and sticking with it no matter what.
No matter what.
Or setting aside dedicated time each day to work on their business,
Wait.
even when they'd rather be doing something else.
I see. So it's about...
It's about showing up consistently and
Okay.
putting in the work even when it's tough.
I like that.
Yeah.
Focusing on consistency and dedication right from the start.
It's key.
And speaking of dedicating time,
Yes.
I see a recurring theme in these sources about the importance of time management.
It's huge.
I'm particularly intrigued by this touch it once rule.
Okay.
What's the idea behind that?
It's a brilliant strategy for maximizing efficiency.
Okay.
Instead of letting tasks pile up and clutter your mind,
Yeah.
you deal with them immediately.
Okay.
Read an email,
Mm-hmm.
respond, and archive it.
Archive it.
Finish a phone call,
Yeah.
make your notes, and move on to the next thing.
Got it.
No more wasting time shuffling papers
Right.
or mentally juggling to-dos.
That sounds incredibly helpful.
Yeah.
Especially when you're juggling so many different responsibilities
Sure.
as a new business owner.
Of course.
But how do you actually implement that in real life?
Holmes recommends what he calls
Yeah.
with Chet time.
With Chet time.
Yes.
Okay.
It's about blocking off a specific chunk of your schedule
Okay.
where you are completely unreachable,
Right.
except for absolute emergencies.
Emergencies only.
Yes.
Okay.
This dedicated time allows you to focus deeply on the most important tasks
Yeah.
without interruptions.
I like it.
It could be 2 hours every morning
Okay.
or a whole day once a week,
Uh-huh.
whatever works best for you and your business.
I can see how that could be a game changer for productivity.
Yeah, for sure.
Now let's shift gears and talk about building a team.
Okay.
Even if you're starting as a solopreneur,
Right.
there's a lot here about the importance of training
Uh-huh.
and thinking ahead to when you might expand.
Absolutely. Training is an investment that pays dividends in the long run. Whether you have a team of 1 or 100,
I see.
consistent training creates a high-performing team
Yeah.
and sets clear expectations from the beginning.
Right.
Think of it this way.
Okay.
Even if you're not hiring right now,
Yeah.
imagine you suddenly need to onboard 50 new employees next week.
Oh, wow.
What systems and training would they need to succeed in your business?
That's a really interesting thought experiment.
Yeah.
I guess it forces you to clarify and document your processes,
Yes,
even at the early stages.
exactly. You start creating a blueprint for future growth and scalability.
Okay.
You're also building a knowledge base that empowers your team,
Right.
present or future, to handle any situation.
Uh-huh.
One of the sources mentions a sales team
Good.
that went from securing 4 appointments to 30 appointments per week after focused training.
Wow, that's a significant improvement.
It is.
It definitely highlights the impact of effective training.
For sure.
And there's also a lot here about using workshops to boost synergy and innovation. Yeah, even with a small team.
Yeah.
Is that something you'd recommend doing from the get-go?
Definitely.
Really?
Even a short weekly workshop can be incredibly transformative.
Interesting.
It could just be you and a virtual assistant.
Okay.
But the point is to come together, brainstorm challenges, bounce ideas off each other, and come up with solutions you wouldn't have discovered on your own.
That makes sense. There's a great story in one of your sources about a carpet cleaning company that used this approach.
Right. They used their workshops to brainstorm an upselling strategy that ended up being hugely successful.
Nice.
But it wasn't just about coming up with the idea.
Yeah.
They had a clear system for implementing it.
Okay.
They identified potential obstacles, documented their procedures, and even created a reward system for the team.
So workshops can be a really effective way to get everyone on the same page.
Totally.
Foster a shared vision.
Yeah.
And generate creative solutions.
Precisely, they harness the collective intelligence of the group.
Right.
Which is always greater than the sum of its parts.
I like that. And for someone starting out, this can be invaluable.
Totally.
Okay, I'm starting to get a clearer picture of the foundational elements.
Yeah.
Self-mastery, time management, and building a team, even if it's a team of one for now.
Right.
But what comes next?
Yeah.
How do you translate all of this into actual business growth?
That's where we move from tactics to strategy.
Okay.
And this is where things get really interesting,
Okay.
especially for someone new to the business world.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What's the distinction between tactics and strategy?
Sure.
Can you give me an example?
A tactic is a specific action, like running a Facebook ad or sending out a promotional email.
Got it.
It's a single move.
Okay.
Strategy, on the other hand, is the bigger picture.
Right.
It's about understanding your target market deeply, crafting a compelling story, and positioning yourself as a trusted advisor rather than just someone pushing a product.
Right, so it's about thinking beyond individual actions.
Yes.
And focusing on the overall game plan.
Exactly. One of your sources talks about the stadium pitch.
Yes.
Which is a great example of strategic thinking.
Oh, yes. I remember that it's about creating a story that resonates with your audience.
Right.
Educates them and captures their attention without directly selling to them.
Yeah.
It's like subtly leading them to your product or service by providing genuine value first.
You got it.
Yeah.
It's about understanding your audience's needs and crafting a message that speaks directly to their pain points and aspirations.
Okay.
Instead of pitching your product outright, you could offer an educational program, host a webinar, or write insightful articles that establish you as an expert in your field.
So you're essentially offering value up front and building trust in the process.
Exactly.
There's some compelling examples of this in the materials you sent.
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking of the newspaper company that shifted from a traditional sales pitch to a more community-focused approach.
Right. They stopped trying to sell advertising and started offering a free program to local businesses.
Wow.
Teaching them how to be more successful.
That's interesting.
The result,
what happened?
They became a trusted resource in the community.
Right.
And ironically ended up with more advertising clients than they could handle.
That's a great example of how a strategic shift can lead to unexpected success.
It is.
So we've talked about building a solid foundation with self-discipline, time management, and team building.
Yeah.
And then moving beyond tactics to embrace a bigger picture strategy.
Right.
But how do you know who to target with this strategy? Where do you even begin?
That brings us to the Dream 100 concept,
Okay.
which is particularly relevant for someone starting a new business.
Ah, yes, the Dream 100.
Yes.
It's about identifying those ideal clients or customers.
Exactly.
And focusing your efforts on reaching them.
Right. Whether you're B2B or B2C, there are always those dream clients who would be a perfect fit for your product or service.
Okay.
The key is to identify them.
Yeah.
Understand their needs and tailor your marketing approach to speak directly to those needs.
One of the sources tells a fascinating story about how Chet Holmes used this approach.
Oh, really?
To land Fortune 500 clients and even secure a movie deal.
That's amazing.
It's an incredible testament to the power of focused effort and strategic persistence.
It is.
The takeaway here is that even the most challenging accounts can be penetrated
Right.
with the right approach and consistent effort.
Persistence is key.
Don't underestimate the power of building genuine relationships.
Yeah.
And consistently providing value.
For sure.
Okay, so you've identified your Dream 100.
Right.
You've got your strategy in place. And you're diligently working on mastering your own mindset and time management.
Right.
But what about building a team of superstars to help you scale and grow?
That's a crucial step as your business evolves.
Yeah.
And one of the key insights from your materials is the importance of understanding the personality traits of top performers.
Interesting.
Look for individuals who exhibit a mix of dominance, influence, steadiness, and compliance.
That's an interesting combination. Can you break those down a bit?
Sure.
What do those traits look like in action?
Certainly, individuals with dominance are typically driven, assertive, and results-oriented.
Driven, assertive, results-oriented.
They thrive in leadership roles and aren't afraid to take charge.
Got it.
Those with influence are naturally persuasive, enthusiastic, and great at building relationships.
Yeah.
They excel in roles that involve communication and collaboration. People with steadiness are reliable, patient, and supportive.
Reliable, patient, supportive.
They're the backbone of any team,
I see.
Providing stability and consistency.
Right.
And lastly, those with compliance are detail-oriented, organized, and value accuracy.
Detail-oriented, organized.
They excel in roles that require precision and adherence to rules and procedures.
So it's about finding people with complementary strengths.
Exactly.
That contribute to a well-rounded team dynamic.
And when you're interviewing potential candidates, there's a specific technique mentioned in your materials called the probe attack strategy.
Right. I was wondering about that. Can you elaborate on how that works?
Sure.
Sounds a bit intense.
It's designed to go beyond surface-level answers and uncover a candidate's true potential.
Right.
The probe phase involves asking in-depth questions about their experiences, skills, and challenges they've faced.
I see.
For instance, you might ask, tell me about a time you failed and what you learned from it. Then the attack phase is about challenging their assumptions, presenting hypothetical scenarios, and seeing how they react under pressure. You might follow up with, how would you approach that situation differently now?
That's a good one.
This helps you assess their problem-solving skills and their ability to adapt and learn.
I see. So it's not about being confrontational,
right,
but rather about pushing them a bit to see how they think and respond.
Exactly.
It's about finding those individuals who are not only skilled, but also resilient and adaptable.
Precisely. And once you've assembled your dream team, remember to reward, motivate, and continue investing in their development.
Of course.
After all, a high-performing team is one of your most valuable assets.
Absolutely.
Especially as you scale and grow your business.
All right. We've talked about building a strong foundation. Crafting a compelling strategy. Identifying your target audience. And building a team of superstars. What else is essential for someone starting a new business? What about establishing yourself as a trusted resource and expert in your field?
That's a great point.
Yeah.
And it ties into everything we've discussed so far. Your market expertise is truly your superpower.
Right.
Especially when you're starting out and need to build credibility and trust.
But how do you actually become a recognized expert?
Yeah.
Especially if you're new to the industry.
It starts with research. Diving deep into market data. Industry trends.
Right.
And the specific challenges your target audience is facing.
I see.
Utilize this information to support your claims. Inform your content. And position yourself as a knowledgeable resource.
So it's not just about knowing your product or service inside and out.
No.
But about understanding the broader market landscape.
Exactly.
And the issues your potential clients are grappling with.
And once you've acquired this knowledge, you need to share it. Create valuable content.
Like
webinars, blog posts, articles, social media updates that provides insights and solutions to your audience.
So
think of it as giving away valuable information for free.
Interesting.
Which in turn builds trust and positions you as an authority.
One of your sources mentions the importance of finding that smoking gun piece of data.
Yes.
That unique insight that sets you apart from the competition.
It's about uncovering those hidden gems that are both fascinating and relevant to your audience.
What could that be?
It could be a startling statistic, a little-known fact,
Right.
or a unique perspective that helps them see their challenges in a new light.
Okay, so research content creation and finding that smoking gun insight.
It's all connected.
I'm taking notes here, but let's not forget the visual aspect.
Sure.
How important are visuals when it comes to marketing and sales?
Visuals are absolutely crucial.
Really?
We humans are visual creatures, and we process images much faster than text. So remember, a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Right.
And in the world of business, it can often be worth 1,000 sales, too.
So how do we effectively incorporate visuals into our marketing and sales efforts?
Think about your website,
Go.
brochures, presentations, and even your social media presence.
I see.
Use high-quality images, infographic charts, and even storytelling through visuals to capture attention and make your message memorable.
Right.
One of your sources highlights how Chet Holmes effectively used visuals to present lawyer statistics.
Oh, yeah.
Creating a sense of urgency and making the information more impactful.
Right. He understood the power of presenting data in a visually compelling way.
Yeah.
It's about making information digestible, engaging, and memorable.
Exactly. And this is all starting to come together.
Yeah. But I must admit, I'm already feeling a bit overwhelmed by all this information.
It's a lot to take in.
We've covered so much ground, and we haven't even touched on the actual sales process itself.
Don't worry.
Okay.
We'll definitely dive into that next.
All right.
And remember, building a successful business is a marathon, not a sprint.
That's good to hear.
The key is to take action on these insights one step at a time.
That's reassuring advice. But before we move on to the sales process, perhaps we should take a quick break to let all this information sink in. We'll be right back with more valuable insights to help you build your ultimate sales machine.
Sounds good. Welcome back. Now let's dive into the sales process itself. This is where all the groundwork we've discussed, your mindset, strategy, and team comes together.
All right, I'm ready to sharpen my sales skills.
Right.
What's the first step to making those crucial connections and converting prospects into customers?
It all starts with building rapport. This goes beyond just being friendly. It's about establishing genuine trust and connection with your potential client. One of the sources tells a great story about a magazine publisher facing stiff competition from a new rival, offering incredibly low rates. Instead of bad-mouthing the competitor or trying to undercut them, he advised his clients to wait and see how the new magazine performed.
That's an interesting approach. It seems counterintuitive, but I guess it ultimately builds credibility.
Exactly. He prioritized his clients' best interests over a quick sale.
Yeah.
And that's key to building long-lasting relationships.
Right.
It demonstrated genuine concern for their well-being and a commitment to providing honest, valuable advice.
So how do you establish that kind of rapport, especially when you're new to the game and maybe feeling a bit insecure? It can feel awkward just launching into a sales pitch without establishing a connection first.
Sure, it's about being a resource, not just a salesperson.
Yeah.
Think back to that bookstore clerk who was so passionate and knowledgeable about books.
I remember those.
That you ended up buying 3 based solely on their recommendations.
They knew their stuff.
Become that expert in your field, someone people can trust and turn to for advice.
Right, so knowledge is power, but it's not just about having the knowledge.
Right.
It's about sharing it in a way that's helpful and engaging. What about asking the right questions?
Oh, yeah.
I'm seeing a lot in these materials about uncovering needs.
Understanding motivations and really getting to the heart of what your potential clients are looking for.
That's step number 2, qualifying the buyer. It's about determining if they're genuinely a good fit for your product or service.
I see.
Before diving into a full-blown sales pitch, think of it as a mutual discovery process.
Okay.
Are they facing the challenges that your solution addresses? Do they have the resources and authority to make a decision?
Okay.
The more you understand their needs and motivations, the more effectively you can tailor your approach.
One of the sources you sent includes a list of helpful questions to ask potential clients.
Oh, yeah.
Like such as, what are your top priorities for your business this year?
Yeah.
Or what are your biggest pain points in this area?
Those are excellent starting points. Remember, it's not about interrogating them, but about having a genuine conversation. The goal is to uncover their pain points, their aspirations, and what they truly value.
So you've established rapport.
Right.
You've qualified the buyer.
And you've gained a deeper understanding of their needs and challenges.
Yes.
What's the next step in this dance of persuasion?
Now it's time to build value. This is where you showcase your expertise.
Okay.
Demonstrate how your product or service can directly address their specific problems and differentiate yourself from the competition. Remember the concept of market education we talked about earlier?
Yes, it's about going beyond a simple sales pitch.
Right.
And positioning yourself as a thought leader by sharing valuable insights and knowledge.
Exactly. This is where your core story or that stadium pitch can be incredibly effective. You're not just talking features and benefits.
I see.
You're providing context, painting a bigger picture, and helping them see the value in what you're offering.
One of the examples that really stuck with me was the company selling art to hospitals.
Interesting.
They didn't just focus on aesthetics. They presented research and data about how art can positively impact patient well-being, create a calming environment, and even facilitate healing.
That's a brilliant example. They elevated the conversation beyond a simple transaction.
Right.
And tapped into something much deeper and more meaningful.
Okay, so we've built rapport, qualified the buyer, and presented a compelling case for the value we bring. But let's be realistic, there are always going to be objections, right? Sure. There will always be reasons why someone might hesitate to buy. How do you handle those objections effectively without getting defensive or pushy?
That's where step 4 comes in overcoming objections. And one of the most valuable insights I glean from your materials is that an objection isn't a rejection.
Okay.
It's an opportunity to further clarify, address concerns, and build even more value.
There's a really interesting technique mentioned in one of the books about agreeing with the objection. First, it seems counterintuitive, but it makes sense when you think about it.
Absolutely. Instead of arguing or immediately jumping into defense mode, acknowledge their concern, and then gently reframe the conversation.
Okay.
For example, if they say, "I'm not sure I can afford this right now," you might respond with, "I understand budget is always a consideration, so tell me, is cost the only thing holding you back from moving forward with the solution?"
I see. It shifts the focus from a simple yes or no to a more nuanced conversation.
Exactly.
It's about their priorities and motivations.
Precisely. And once you've addressed their objections and they're feeling confident about the value you offer, it's time to move on to step 5, the art of closing the sale.
Ah, yes, the moment of truth.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people struggle with this part. How do you close effectively without being pushy or making the client feel pressured?
It's about confidently guiding them towards a decision.
Okay.
Not pushing them into a corner. One of the stories that really stood out to me was about a salesperson who was showing an elderly couple a recliner.
A recliner?
Instead of asking, "Would you like to buy this?" he simply asked, "Where do you live?" as he started filling out the paperwork.
Wow, that's a bold move. But I guess it worked, right?
It did. It's a classic example of assuming the sale, but it's also about recognizing that sometimes people need a little nudge to overcome their own hesitation. You could say something like, "You've seen the value. You understand how this can benefit your business. Now it's just a matter of taking that next step. Are you ready to move forward?"
So you've closed the deal, everyone's happy, and you're on your way to building a successful business. That's it. Right time to pop the champagne and celebrate.
Not quite. This is where many businesses, especially new ones, make a critical mistake.
Okay, what is it?
The real work, the work that separates good businesses from great ones, begins after the sale. That's where step 6 comes in, bonding.
Bonding. I usually associate that with personal relationships, not business transactions. What does that mean in this context?
It's about going above and beyond to nurture those client relationships, to turn customers into raving fans who not only come back for more, but also recommend you to their network. Think about those legendary stories of exceptional customer service, like Wolfgang Puck personally greeting guests at his restaurant, Spago.
Right, it's those small, personalized touches that make people feel valued and appreciated.
Exactly. It's about creating memorable experiences, building genuine connections, and demonstrating that you truly care about their success.
So bonding is about building loyalty, generating repeat business, and creating a community of advocates for your brand.
Absolutely. It's about shifting your perspective from simply making a sale to building lasting relationships.
Okay, I understand the importance of bonding, but what are some practical, actionable strategies for achieving that?
Sure.
So it's for someone just starting out.
There are countless strategies, but some of the most effective ones include regular follow-up, personalized communication, maybe a handwritten thank you note, or a birthday card invitations to exclusive events or webinars, and consistently sharing valuable resources that are relevant to their business.
So it's about staying top of mind without being intrusive.
Right.
Continuing to provide value even after the sale.
Yes.
And demonstrating a genuine interest in their long-term success.
Precisely. Yeah. And remember, bonding isn't just about keeping existing clients happy, it's also about generating referrals.
Right. Happy, satisfied clients are your best marketing tool.
They are.
They're much more likely to recommend your product or service to their friends and colleagues. Word-of-mouth marketing is incredibly powerful, especially for a new business.
Absolutely. So we've covered the 6 key steps in the sales process.
Okay.
Establishing rapport, qualifying the buyer, building value, overcoming objections, closing the sale, and finally bonding.
That was quite a journey.
But there's one more essential piece to this puzzle that's often overlooked, especially by those new to the business world.
I'm intrigued. What's the missing ingredient in this recipe for sales success?
It's about tapping into the power of your subconscious mind.
Wait, what, my subconscious mind, how does that play into all of this?
This is where things get really fascinating. Your subconscious mind is constantly at work, influencing your thoughts, feelings, and actions. It's like a powerful computer that's processing information and shaping your reality based on your beliefs and expectations.
So are you saying that if I'm constantly worrying about failure or doubting my abilities, I'm more likely to sabotage my own success?
Unfortunately, yes. Your subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between positive and negative thoughts. It simply acts on the dominant patterns you feed it. But here's the good news. You can reprogram your subconscious mind for success.
Okay, that's a relief.
Yeah.
But how do you actually do that?
Sure.
How do you shift those ingrained patterns of thinking?
It starts with becoming aware of your self-talk. Are you focusing on positive affirmations or negative self-doubt?
Okay.
Are you visualizing your goals and celebrating your achievements?
Yeah.
Or are you dwelling on your fears and past mistakes? The more you consciously choose positive, empowering thoughts, the more you'll attract positive experiences.
So it's about shifting your mindset from a place of scarcity and fear to a place of abundance and possibility.
Precisely. And it's about setting clear, specific goals and taking consistent action towards achieving them.
One of the sources you provided outlines a really interesting goal-setting workshop.
Oh, yeah.
It encourages you to write down your lifetime goals, your annual goals, even your desired income 5 years from now.
It's a powerful exercise for clarifying your vision and aligning your actions with your aspirations.
I like that.
The act of writing down your goals makes them more tangible and real, and it helps your subconscious mind focus on what you want to achieve.
Okay, so positive self-talk, clear goals, and a belief in your ability to achieve those goals. I'm starting to see how this mental aspect plays a crucial role in business success.
Yeah.
But what about staying motivated and on track?
Sure.
When things get tough, when those inevitable challenges and setbacks arise?
That's where systems and tools come in. They provide structure, accountability, and a framework for consistent progress. Remember the sales performance worksheet we discussed earlier?
Yes. It's a simple yet effective tool for tracking your progress, staying organized, and ensuring consistent follow-up.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of friendly competition. One of your sources talks about using contests and incentives to boost motivation and performance within a team.
That's a great idea. It can be a fun and engaging way to keep everyone energized and focused on achieving shared goals. This has been an incredibly insightful deep dive into the sales process, and I feel like we've covered a wealth of information.
It's been a pleasure exploring these ideas with you. And remember, the key is to take what resonates with you and start implementing it one step at a time.
Great advice. Now, before we move on, I think it's time to shift our focus to a topic that's particularly relevant for someone starting a new business: the power of tapping into your subconscious mind. We'll explore this in more detail after a quick break. We're back and ready to dive into this idea of the power of your subconscious mind.
Yeah, it's really fascinating stuff.
Especially when you're starting a new business.
Absolutely. It's often overlooked, but your mindset and beliefs play a huge role in shaping your reality and ultimately your success.
Right. We were just talking about how our subconscious minds are like powerful computers running in the background, processing information and influencing our thoughts, feelings, and actions.
Exactly. And the key takeaway here is that you're not a prisoner to your subconscious programming. You can actively reprogram it for success.
Okay, so how do we do that? How do we shift those deeply ingrained patterns of thinking, especially those pesky negative beliefs that seem to hold us back?
It starts with awareness. Pay attention to your self-talk. Are you constantly putting yourself down, focusing on what you lack, or dwelling on past mistakes? Or are you choosing to focus on your strengths, celebrating your achievements, and visualizing yourself achieving your goals?
So it's about consciously choosing to focus on the positive, even when things get tough. But how do you maintain that positive outlook when faced with challenges and setbacks, which are inevitable when you're starting a business.
Well, it's not about denying the challenges. It's about reframing them as opportunities for growth, and learning one of the most powerful techniques you can use is visualization.
Visualization, I've heard a lot about that, but I've always been a bit skeptical. Does it really work?
Yeah. It's more than just wishful thinking. It's about creating a vivid mental picture of yourself achieving your desired outcome when you repeatedly visualize your goals. You're essentially sending a powerful message to your subconscious mind, telling it what you want to create in your reality.
So if I can clearly see myself successfully pitching to investors, closing that big deal, or launching my product to rave reviews, I'm more likely to make those things happen.
Exactly. You're training your mind to focus on success, and that shift in focus can have a profound impact on your actions and ultimately your results.
That makes sense. But it's not just about visualizing the end goal, right? It's also about taking consistent action to make those dreams a reality.
Absolutely. Visualization without action is just daydreaming. You need to combine a clear vision with a strategic plan and consistent effort.
One of the books you sent emphasizes the importance of setting SMART goals.
Oh, right.
Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
That's a fantastic framework for goal setting. It ensures that your goals are well-defined, actionable, and aligned with your overall vision.
Okay, so we've got visualization, goal setting, and consistent action. What other tools or techniques can help someone tap into the power of their subconscious mind and achieve their business goals?
One of the most powerful tools, and this is mentioned throughout your materials, is affirmations.
Affirmations. Those positive statements that you repeat to yourself, do they really make a difference?
They're more than just feel-good phrases. They're powerful declarations that can help reprogram your subconscious mind by repeatedly affirming your desired beliefs and outcomes. You're essentially overriding those old limiting beliefs that might be holding you back.
So if I'm struggling with self-doubt, I could create an affirmation like, I am confident and capable of achieving my goals.
Exactly. Choose affirmations that resonate with you. Write them down and repeat them to yourself daily, ideally in front of a mirror. The more you embody those positive statements, the more you'll start to believe them and the more likely you are to act in alignment with them.
This is all starting to make sense. It's like we're training our minds for success, just like we train our bodies at the gym.
That's a great analogy. And just like physical exercise, mental conditioning requires consistency and effort. The more you practice these techniques, visualization, affirmations, positive self-talk, the more you'll strengthen your mental muscles and create the reality you desire.
This has been an incredibly insightful deep dive into the world of starting and scaling a new business. We've covered so much ground, from building a solid foundation with the right mindset and strategies to mastering the art of sales and tapping into the power of our subconscious minds.
It has been a lot. Yeah, it's been a pleasure sharing these insights with you. And remember, building a successful business is a journey, not a destination. Embrace the challenges, celebrate the wins, and never stop learning and growing.
Well said. And to our listener, we want to leave you with one final thought. Think back to all the inspiring stories and strategies we've discussed today. What resonated with you the most? What's one action step you can take right now to move closer to your business goals? Write it down, commit to it, and watch your dreams unfold. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive. We'll see you next time.